Well, I've seen 3 different police cars. That's never a good day. Is it? Up and down our small highway here. And one or two of them are clearly looking for something or someone. And I think that's what a lot of the most thing they do is hunt for people. And you can see they're hunting. You can see any animal when they're hunting. You can see hunting for someone. Probably a poor person, right? And they're driving around. They're getting paid whether they find them or not. It's like, do. Thankfully, I don't match the description. I think most of them know who I am. They see me walking around all the time. They could pick me up anytime they wanted to, right? Bing, right? There he is. Either that or they're driving around just to intimidate me, which wouldn't do anything because I don't give a fuck. But I don't use police services in my entire life. I've never used them. I was watching a YouTube video today of a man who was murdered. And a month previous, he's talking to a police officer about all these suspicious circumstances in his life and telling him that his wife has threatened to murder him. And the police officer is basically over-talking him and saying, oh, that's not a big deal, right? And that's what police do. They narrate to themselves and edit what people are telling. They make up the laws as they go along. They apply them as they go along. They go along. They're heavily biased, right? These aren't the most intelligent in the world either, but they're given a power to narrate and control and constrain human speech, right? You have no freedom of speech when you're talking to a police officer, right? Right? They'll manipulate anything you tell them into what they want it to be. And then, of course, he's shot twice in the chest from his wife's daughter. Doom. Right? All could have been prevented. All could have been prevented. Right? Any moron with a psychology degree could have prevented it, but nope. And anyone who's had contact with the RCMP or the police in the United States and other countries know that they're useless cunts. They're not trained properly, they're not intelligent enough, they're not empathetic enough, ever, but they think they are. They're absolutely convinced that they deserve to wear that uniform. And it represents whatever it needs to represent. It's basically like a maxi pad that covers up all of their sins and indiscretions in life. They're no longer a stupid, weak person. They're the perfecto hero of existence. And their mistakes, well, they're your mistakes, aren't they? They don't pay for them. What a creepy job. Imagine a plumber that came to your house, flooded your house, and got your children killed and said, oh, that's your fault. You shouldn't have hired me. So I never called the police. And the one time I called 911, they didn't come. And when they did, they told me they weren't there for me. Right? And the white receptionist, the white call operator manipulated me. Right? To help them hunt me. Right? The person who had actually been attacked. Right? Think about it. Right? In every institution, nothing against women per se. I know there's a lot of great women out there, a lot of bad men out there. But I had an auntie, a white auntie. Love her. She was a pathological liar. A lot of white women, they lie as they breathe. She would make up stories. She would talk over me. You couldn't tell her problems because she would just talk over them and make up shit. She was people professionally. She worked for the government in employment services, right? Yada, blah, blah, blah. Right? Right? And I've been in different cults. And you always need people like this. You always need white women in cults. Anyone who has a cult needs white females, unfortunately. And to understand cults correctly, you'd see why. It's not against women per se, but it's part of how women are used and groomed in society, and white women in particular. And they will lie through their teeth. They're into magical thinking. All those books out there, those New Age books, the self-help books, the magical thinking, they're all bought by white women. Okay? You go into any white woman's house, she's got 7 or 8 books on magical thinking and self-help in the New Age. Easily possessed, and they have control issues, aggression issues. All their New Age books in the world don't do a fucking thing, because when you just layer on magical thinking, it doesn't change anything. right? And then when anything threatens to interrupt their magical way of life, they become aggressive, right? I've been around lots of West Coast women, magical thinkers, who work for different agencies, psychologists, and the people around them that always do violence, always do violence, always do violence. Despite talking about positivity, not wanting to talk about anything negative. Oh, you're so negative. Oh, you're so negative. And then they fucking rape you, right? And that's the split mind of the white female, right? And then they fucking rape you. And that's how it ends. But what is going on there? What is really going on there, right? What's going on when white women, not all white women, but when white women talk and talk and talk about what they know, about what's real and good and positive, and then they behave in completely the opposite and have no moral accountability? Well, first off, it's up to you. Don't, period. I mean, don't spend time with people with kooky religious beliefs who are spiritual and just are constantly like laying out their yoga mat and thinking their positive thoughts every day. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of house they have, what kind of clothes they wear. I passed several different, all of them. They all want your attention constantly. They walk around like fucking prostitutes. I know they don't think that, but the way white women have learned, there's two different things. There's the way they think they appear, and the way they really appear at an animal level, right? They live to have men check out their ass, right? And check out their crotch, right? They live to look like women in magazines, which are prostitutes, essentially. Models are prostitutes, right? Models are prostitutes. Most of them do get into prostitution eventually, right? They're being used. Why not? Where's the name? Okay. Are you really close to her? Is she your friend? Is this what you do to your young female friends? You put them on pictures like this. Okay. It's interesting. It's remarkable. It's what you do, man. You encourage this behavior. Right? Cool. And you're smiling about that and you're confident about that. You're not used to anyone challenging, but you got it. Interesting. In service of finance and economics, women are constantly being used. Right? People are being used all the time. Oh, it's creepy seeing those police. I don't usually walk down the highway. And there's one comes and goes down, the other one comes, turns around this block, comes back around eventually. They're looking for someone. For them. I really do. I feel sorry for the person they're looking for. You know? I really do. Let's go this way. I don't want to do like the same thing every day. We'll walk this way a little bit since we're just warming up anyway. Yeah, I feel sorry for them. Because they got hunters. They're in their hunting mode. Police are hunters. They're hunting for things. Right? You think police officer, my wife threatened to murder me, you would just take down her name and number and talk to her. Right? And if a policeman was listening to this, they'd be like, oh, of course I would, of course I would. But police are self-aware about what they do to the communities they're attacking, right? The people in your community are an invading army, and the police are the tax collectors and the tribute keepers, the oath keepers of that invading army. Their oath is to the king, the queen,